views and opinions expressed in the following program are those of the hosts, guests, and contributors, and do not reflect the official views of Real TV, its management, or affiliates. Content is provided for informational and entertainment purposes only. Viewer discretion is advised.
Local, regional and international viewers, thank you kindly for choosing us here on Real TV, where we bring reality to you. My dear friends, a very warm welcome to another edition of the program Conversations with Zelisa, where we continue to inform, educate, empower and answer those unanswered questions. I am Zelisa Rupani, humbly inviting you to sit back, relax, enjoy. Get your pen, get your notebook, Real TV, so we could take notes on important numbers that would be helpful for you and your loved ones. Directing this morning and in Master Control, Nathaniel Reed, on behalf of the team, we'd like to wish each and every one of you a beautiful, blessed, productive and great day today. Happy Thursday, my friends. It's Thursday, the 11th of June, 2026. A gentle reminder, it is a day and time we'll never have the opportunity to ever have again in life. So don't waste your time. Don't procrastinate. Do something productive and constructive, all right? And of course, if you're celebrating a birthday, happy birthday. If it's your anniversary, happy anniversary to you and yours. That's someone special. Let's go to our quote for today, coming to us with the kind compliments of Fab India Expo. And our quote says, "There is no other day. All days are present now. This moment contains all the moment." You know, you'll never have the opportunity to have this moment. It is in the now. It is in this moment that, you know, in this present now, we make the choices for our tomorrows. So remember to think before you speak, think before you act, and enjoy this moment. This too shall pass. Let's now go to their ad, please. Fab India Expo. Check them out today.
Looking for something truly unique this season? Then you need to visit Fab India Expo, located opposite Medford Gas Station, Shogunas. Brand new containers have just arrived, packed with one-of-a-kind garments you won't find anywhere else. Whether you're shopping for something stylish, traditional, or custom-made, we've got you covered with made-to-order pieces tailored just for you. And it doesn't stop there. Take a stroll through our full food court, offering delicious options for the entire family. From savory bites to sweet treats, there's something for everyone. Plus, don't miss our big sale on furniture. Upgrade your home with beautiful pieces at unbeatable prices. So come on down to the Fab India Expo, located opposite Medford Gas Station, Shogunas, where culture, style, and savings come together.
Welcome back to Conversations with Zelisa, right here on Real TV, where we bring reality to you. And it's time to get your pen out, your notebook, Real TV, so you could take notes on important numbers that will be very helpful for you. This morning, I am in conversation with a brilliant young lady, and she is an attorney at law, humanitarian, community activist, and director of the Humanitarian Foundation for Positive Social Change. This young lady is very passionate about change, ensuring that there is a better tomorrow. Let's say good morning and a warm welcome to attorney at law, Shamira Suklal. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning, Ms. Zelisa. Thank you so much for the very warm welcome.
Well, it's very... Please.
No, I was just saying, it's a pleasure to be here and to contribute to this program. So I look forward to our discussion this morning.
Yes, we're very grateful. Whenever I get the opportunity to talk with young, brilliant minds who are so focused, very successful, and put their energy and time into positive things like you wear many hats, but you're really about change, making a difference in a positive way. And when we have young people like you stepping up and taking that responsibility, we have to applaud you and we have to help you shine even brighter, right? So it's certainly our blessing this morning to have you. with us on Conversations here at Real TV. Now, you wear many hats, as I said, an attorney at law, but you're also passionate about change. And you are the director of the Humanitarian Foundation for Positive Social Change. Let's talk about this foundation. You know, what gave birth, light? Where did it all start?
Certainly. So this organization, we have been incorporated since May 2022. So it's about 4 years that we've been incorporated, but I started this organization in 2020. Before I became an attorney, I was involved in a lot of community work, and this really stemmed from growing up. From the moment I could walk and speak as a child, my parents have been heavily involved in charitable initiatives. So I would remember that before I could even get to opening my presents on Christmas morning, every Christmas as a child, from as soon as I was conscious, walking, talking, the first thing that they would do is take my brother and I down to the orphanages. About 4 orphanages we'd visit Christmas morning, and we would distribute food, toys, have conversations with the children, and we would spend our entire morning up until lunchtime doing those initiatives. So from a very young age, I became involved in like those activities. Growing up, as I got older, of course, I became more aware of certain issues that people face in society, in the world. And then I started, as a young adult, I got engaged in the field of law. I started pursuing my degree in law. And it was in that, while I was studying as a law student, I would have become involved in working at law firms as well, to get that practical experience. So in working for law firms, before I got called to the bar, I was involved in like having insight on cases, certain things that people had issues with, and from there I developed a passion to assist people, to learn and to apply my knowledge, to basically support and give advice to people in challenging situations. Over time, I formed my own organization. Like I said, with my history of being involved in the community, I would have had resources, I had persons to help, and we formed that group. And then eventually, that group that I formed, we incorporated our organization officially in 2022. So that is what really gave birth to my organization. It was my involvement from a very young age to developing my own insight as a young adult, and here we are today.
Well, I think it all started in that solid foundation from your home, and this is where parents need to take advice. Parents need to listen and understand and apply that it is the environment that you set for your children, the choices that you make, what you expose your children to, that is whom they're going to become when you ignite that flame at a young age. You clearly remember Christmas morning before going under that tree and scrambling to open the gifts.
Absolutely.
Going out to the homes. Let me tell you something. I grew up in that kind of environment. My parents always taught us, I remember we used to cook food and deliver to the orphanage, or we go to the blind institute, always give. So we had that in us already to understand. It's about helping and giving back. So that solid foundation is so important for us to understand that even when you became a young lady, you recognized within yourself, where your path was, what you wanted to do. But more importantly, you planted those seeds very young. And that's why now we are, you're getting the fruit of it. But it didn't come easy. It comes with hard work. It comes with commitment. It comes with staying focused. And again, in the right environment. Yeah?
Definitely. I agree with you completely.
So that's the first lesson we learned this morning, especially to parents and guardians, especially when it comes to our children. Remembering the sort of environment you want your children to be in. And so Ms. Sukai would have grown up now in that environment and just develop that and allow it to blossom and shine through in a natural, organic way because it was already part of who you are.
Yes.
Nice.
So,
Please, so go right ahead, please.
no, I was just speaking about, you said something very important. So it did make me recognize the importance of that sense of community, of that sense of giving back, So like I grew up basically having all of my, well, more than my basic needs met, but I became sensitive to the fact that that was not the norm for everyone in society. So
Correct.
I just wanted to bridge that gap between what I had afforded to me and to helping someone in a challenging situation, in a less fortunate situation.
And the beauty is you had first-hand experience. Even as a young girl, because you would have grown up in this sort of environment, going out and helping others. But then, as you said, you had the experience at the law firm to see and to be exposed to even more understanding as you grew older, you became a woman, the need or rather, what society was lacking that you could help fill that void or help somewhere along the line. I come from the place in my mind thinking rather than give a man a plate of food, why not teach him the skills of fishing or helping himself so that he could always be able to grow as well and to help himself and his family. And so what was what was the first case, or the first situation when this organization came, when this foundation came together? And I like that it is the humanitarian foundation for positive social change, because it's about positivity and changing the way we see or the way things are happening socially.
Yes. So it wasn't a particular case, but rather it was, like I said, I've been involved in the community, listening to people, helping people in different situations.
Right.
So it was really a range of issues that needed to be addressed, right? And it was really domestic violence cases, domestic violence, sexual abuse cases, and like these victims that I was assisting, they were not, like their reports were not being taken seriously by the police service, for example, right?
Right.
So it stemmed from helping people get access to legal services where they fell short in getting it addressed through government institutions. You understand, right? And
Of
then
course.
working in law firms, I became aware of how challenging it was for persons to pay legal fees. So that brings me to what I'm about to say. In my organization, one of our prized departments is our legal aid clinic, our legal aid department.
Okay.
So through that department, we intake clients, we do free consultations, right? And we refer persons to attorneys, and those attorneys, they do pro bono cases most of the time. And if a client that comes to us, if they are employed and they are willing to pay minimal fees, they make an agreement with the attorney. We have certain very affordable payment plans for those types of matters when they want to initiate domestic violence applications in the court, for example, or even private prosecutions, which a lot of people may not be aware of.
Right.
So that like just to touch on that a little bit for a minute.
Well, I want you to hold, I'd like you to hold that thought right there. We're just going to take a very quick break, and when we return, I'll allow you to elaborate on that point that you wanted to raise, all right? So let's go to these important messages. This is a program, Conversations with Zelisa. Today, I'm in conversation with attorney at law Shamira Suklal. And she's not just an attorney, but she's also the director of the Humanitarian Foundation for Positive Social Change. When we return, we continue with our conversation. Stay with us.
Bridging the Gap is here, where we talk about current and social affairs every Monday to Thursday, 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. right here on Real TV.
Are you looking for the right space for your business? Fred's Plaza has the space you need. We offer professional rental spaces designed for growing businesses. Conveniently located in San Juan on the Eastern Main Road, opposite the PTSC terminal and between Royal Castle and Mario's. Easy access, high visibility. For inquiries, call or WhatsApp 868-384-7142 today, or visit Level 3 Fred's Plaza for details.
In a world full of noise, choose clarity. The Real News digital publication is your choice for important news coverage. From influential figures shaping our nation to a powerful week in review that keeps you informed. The weekly edition is available for download on all of our social media platforms. Smart, sharp, essential, Real News digital publication. Stay informed, stay educated, stay empowered. Welcome back to Conversations with Zelisa right here on Real TV, where we bring reality to you. To all of our local, our regional and our international viewers, thank you so much for choosing us. For those of you on Tego, the app, if you don't have it, remember you could download it for free, absolutely free. Look at Real TV, take Real TV with you anytime, real time, great programming where we bring reality to you. To all those in Canada and the Caribbean, Showtime Television, thank you so much for allowing us into your space. You know, I always say knowledge is power. When you have knowledge, it means that you could make better decisions, better choices. And you know that? We all will enjoy a better tomorrow, right? To all of the viewers near and far, 3 million plus, we can boast it. You are the guys that made it possible. You are the ones that allowed us to grow from strength to strength. So thank you. But I ask and I urge that you always like and share, because it's great information. It's real information that could help people to evolve, that could ignite a flame in somebody, make a difference in a positive way in the lives of our viewers near and far. All right, so like and share. This morning, I am in conversation with attorney at law, Shamira Suklal, and she's also the director of the Humanitarian Foundation for Positive Social Change. Positive social change. All right, welcome back, Ms. Suklal.
Thank you again, Ms. Zelisa.
Now, just before the break, you were about to raise a very important point, because we were talking about the foundation and the dynamic work you're doing with regards to now assisting those with legal aid, that service. You're correct.
Yes.
A lot of people don't even have the money to buy food or survive or pay their bills, or they lose their homes and they can't afford to pay their mortgages. Furthermore, they're in the middle of a storm or challenges or problems, even when it comes to domestic violence, as you pointed out. Where do they get the funds to get resolved, or to get help, or to get, what is due to them, And we have organizations such as yourself that are really reaching out, partnering and helping the citizens.
Yes, definitely. And our legal aid clinic, even though we provide legal representation, you made a very important analogy. If you could give a man a piece of food, you could teach him to fish.
Yes.
So a part of our dynamic in our legal aid clinic is that we help self-litigants prepare for court. So I have had the pleasure of basically educating lay persons that have matters before the court. So, for example, the same domestic violence protection orders, applications and such.
Yeah.
I would sit with them, I would send them documents to review, giving them pointers on how to present themselves in court so that they could advance their arguments. And we have dozens of clients that we have assisted as self-litigants, training them and teaching them that they have successfully advanced their matters before the courts, reaching to completion in many cases. And of course, we also have the resource where we have representation. So in our legal aid clinic, we have approximately 20 attorneys attached, and they work on a rotation system. So when a client comes to us, I would do the consultation, the initial consultation, and then I would refer them to one of our attorneys in our clinic. Or if I have the ability to do the matter, I would assist in the matter directly as well. Presently, my job situation, I'm a state attorney at the moment. So I cannot appear in court for clients at this time. I used to before becoming employed with the state, but right now I'm unable to. So I have those referrals. We have excellent attorneys on board, always willing to assist. And we also collaborate with the National Domestic Violence Unit. It's a unit attached to the judiciary. And they refer, when clients call them on the hotline, they send them to our organization as well. You know, so it has been very impactful. It has been, it's a continuous process, you know, like trying to bridge the gap between persons in challenging situations and getting legal help affordably and comfortably, especially.
Well, I'll tell you something, it brings about a sense of peace in an individual if they know that they could get results, if they know that they could get some calm or some peace or some closure to their problems.
Yes.
Because for many reasons, as you know, we could always talk about this later on, you know, people get themselves into relationships that are very toxic, that are very hurtful, that they go in whole, but then they are broken in that scenario.
Yes.
And so they need to have resolve, they need to have closure, they need to have some sorts of peace in their life in order to move forward, you know. And
Definitely.
of course, and not because you may not have the finances to do it now, it would allow you to stay, because we've seen time after time too many examples of relationships, especially when it comes to domestic violence, resulting in death. We're seeing it.
Yes.
You know, and when two people are involved, they are involved, but then we also have to consider the children that are also broken in this relationship as well. So I'm really happy to see that young, ambitious attorneys like yourself, and you say 20 of them are also attached.
Yes, approximately 20 attorneys attached to our organization.
Beautiful.
We also have senior attorneys involved. So, for example, I just want to share this. So, if a client comes and they have a particular fact pattern in their case, so let's say it's a person who's been through some severe violence, and they would have tried to engage the police and there was no result of those reports, we have senior attorneys currently taking those clients from the organization to referrals and doing constitutional matters for them against the government. So far we have about 5 ongoing constitutional matters that will refer to senior attorneys through the organization. And one was just completed earlier this year.
Excellent.
Bringing about strong principles in support of survivors and their right to police action in particular when they are in serious situations and victims of serious crimes. Because domestic violence is not just domestic, right? When you think a crime, first of all, criminal offenses are of a public interest, right? A crime could occur in your own home. Somebody is severely beating you. Somebody is sexually abusing you, right? That is a public interest matter at the end of the day, even though it is happening in your own home. right? So that is the principles that I've been trying to strengthen and have been successfully doing so, especially with the cases that we've been bringing against the government to ensure those protections for citizens. And Ms. Zelisa, as you were speaking about death in domestic violence situation, a topic that is often looked over is suicide. So it's not just about somebody harming you to kill you. It's also about harming you emotionally and mentally to the point where we have some clients of the organization that have admitted that they have suicidal ideation or they have attempted suicide. So yes, we have the legal aid clinic, but we also have a social work department where we have social workers that offer free counseling for our clients that come to the organization as well. So when a client comes to us, they can decide if they want to pursue a legal matter. Usually we would suggest that they also obtain counseling with us. It's optional, but the both options are there. Sometimes people come to us, they don't want to go the legal route, but they will take the counseling alone, you know?
That is
So
brilliant. That is
yes.
brilliant. The
Yes.
point that you've raised now is one that is so valid and so true. Sometimes
Yes.
it's not the actual licks. Sometimes it's not the verbal or one killing the other. Silently, silently,
Yes.
because of the hurt, you are broken to a point where you feel that there's no hope, there's no reason to live.
Yes.
You're disenchanted with life, with yourself, you're disappointed, you can't move out of it, and you are driven to take your own life. You're absolutely true. So that is such
Yes.
a sterling contribution to now add to the services, free services that is, of counseling.
Yes.
There are people,
Yes.
listen, I interviewed a young lady in my office this week for a job. And that young lady just started to cry in the interview. Cry and cry and cry. I had to take a step back. I said, let me get you some water. Got her a napkin. And I just listened to her because she was so broken in the relationship that she found herself in. Even though she's now living apart, she's been able to pick up herself, but because of this situation, she can't take care of all of the children. And she was so, I said to her, darling, you need to fix yourself. Darling, you need to fix you. You're very broken and you're hurt. And you know, when you are like this, so fragile, your children are going to pull that from you. They're going to see it. They're going to absorb it. Get help. So you, I mean, you've hit it. I mean, I experienced it this week in my office. So I've experienced it firsthand. This lady don't know me, you know, I don't know her. She just came for an interview for a job. But so broken. And so now today, by divine intervention here, you are talking about helping people fix themselves, getting that social aspect, feeling whole again, feeling beautiful, feeling worthwhile, wanting to live, the passion to survive and the passion to taste success. It takes away all of those goals or all of those ambitions when you are broken.
And I want to say that a lot of people in those situations, they feel very boxed and caved in to the point where, like, yes, you could Google search your situation and get some advice online, but as it applies to our jurisdiction, Trinidad and Tobago specifically, like our local and specific procedures and whatnot, that may not necessarily be freely accessible online in an article, for example. You know, like I find that people not knowing about their options contributes to that dynamic, to that challenge that they have when they face those feelings of despair and hopelessness. So a part of our initiatives is continuous education.
Nice.
So for example,
well, we'll talk about that. Please hold that point right there, because I want to talk about all the great things that you continue to do and you're doing and that's where you gel and you marry all these other services to bring somebody whole and new again and make them feel like it's worth living. Let's go to these important messages. This is the program Conversations with Zelisa. Today I am in conversation with attorney at law Shamira Suklal. She's also the director of the Humanitarian Foundation for Positive Social Change, and they're certainly making a great impact in empowering our citizens, helping them, especially the ones that are broken. So let's go to these important messages. When we return, we continue our conversation. Stay with us.
Macon Construction Company Limited. Save big whilst building stronger. We build with our Macon innovative building systems, which provides high wind speed, earthquake, sea blast and fire resistance. Is thermally and acoustically insulated. Provides improved construction timelines and cost savings. We provide construction services from design to finish and everything in between. Macon Construction Company Limited. Building green today with tomorrow's technology. Contact or visit us today.
Let's get straight to the point. I am Dale Edwards, Dale the Voice, and we're going to get straight to the point right here on Real TV. Join me Monday to Friday, 4 to 6 p.m. when we talk the hard truth. We're not beating around the bush. We're getting straight to the point, dealing with real issues, social, politics, and much more. Monday to Friday, the only place to be is right here on Real TV.
The Ambassador's Daughter, weekdays at 11 a.m., only on Real TV.
Welcome back to Conversations with Zelisa right here on Real TV, where we bring reality to you, to all of our local, regional and international viewers. Thank you so much for choosing us. I just got a message from one of our international viewers in Florida, and she was saying on the note there that sometimes we may not be in that situation, but we may know someone in that situation, and now we can direct them where they could help, where they can get help. Meaning, sometimes you're in an office and you notice somebody's attitude change, one of your co-workers, and they may be in a situation where you're not even aware. You're eating, having a meal with this person, you're working alongside this person, and this person in their mind planning how to die, how to kill myself, how to not move on, and they're just broken. And if you know of such situations, you could now advise, listen, just go and get some help. Just go and listen. Have a chat with somebody who's competent, somebody who has the knowledge and the information on how to help you to get out of whatever situation you're in, that is negative, that is bringing negativity to your life and taking away and stealing your joy, your peace and your happiness. And that's why today I'm in conversation with this brilliant young lady who's very ambitious, but more importantly, her goal is to really fixing and helping people to resolve, to put them in a better place. I'm speaking of no other than young attorney Shamira Suklal, and she is an attorney at law, but she's also the director of the Humanitarian Foundation for Positive Social Change. Welcome back, Ms. Suklal.
Thank you so much again, Ms. Zelisa. Yes, it's a pleasure.
So I know just before the break you were about to share with us some of the other services that you provide and how you gel everything together, how you marry everything to help.
Yes, definitely. So, like I said, communication is important. So, we use our social media platforms to consistently reach out to people. We would do segments, put out informatives. We have a website for our organization. So, viewers could check that out at www.hfpsc.org. We also are reachable via phone contact. You could call at 283-5594. So we are always on the line. We are always accessible. We try our best to give people the information that they need to better themselves so that they know what their options are. Knowing what your options are could be such a game changer in any situation that you are in. And it doesn't always
Absolutely true.
engage. Yes, and it doesn't always mean legal action, but for example, through the counseling, etc., mediation is also an important aspect, especially where certain things could be talked through. Not every domestic violence situation or problem somebody has is so severe that they need to start litigation, but rather having a conversation, like a mediation session, would include checks and balances to ensure that proper civil, a fair conversation is had between parties, and then they come to
Exactly.
an agreement. Yes,
And you
but
know
even though you are mediating,
what I
yeah.
also think is extremely important, Mr. Klal, is the fact that if you understand what the problem is and you get to the root of it, prevention is always better than cure. You could actually, with the right intervention and the right counseling, you could actually fix something that is broken, in the sense that you could save that marriage, save that relationship,
Yes. But let me say something here. There has to be willingness on both sides to come
Agree.
to the table. So let me tell you something. It's not just boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, domestic situations that I've dealt with. I've dealt with parent, child, domestic violence situation. And those dynamics where the child domestic situation is a bit more complex and a bit more frustrating, because usually in those cases, either one of the parties would be very unwilling to, for example, mediate or come to the understanding that is required to have a civil conversation with the other, right? And it's very sad to see like that in particular between a parent and a child, especially.
Or even siblings. A lot of disputes. I don't know if you handle things like that, but a lot of disputes with siblings and land and property
Yeah.
and money and all these kind of
Yes.
things. And it's sad that it has to reach to that point.
Yes, exactly. I agree with you. I agree with you completely. So we try our best, but at the end of the day, like I said, parties have to be willing to come. And if they are not willing to have those conversations, then the only option to do is to litigate and have judicial intervention, have a judge make an order, or have a judge see how best they could get the parties to come to some agreement, like a consent agreement to bring the matter to an end.
Nice. And so apart, so you also have people that you, as you indicated, for counseling. For counseling to perhaps help you understand where you're at, as you spoke about suicide. But what about counseling now, getting that intervention, whether it's a life coach or a psychologist or somebody that could, or marriage counselor, that could now sit with a husband and wife and have resolve, or even siblings, or even, to get the group together or two parties or whoever together. Because sometimes when you see things in a different perspective, when you see things out of the box, you realize, but this could be resolved. I didn't see it that way.
So in my first year of practice, I was employed at a legal aid in legal aid, basically. And well, I was employed at the Hewitt Law School's legal aid clinic. So when I graduated from Hewitt Law School, I was awarded a contract to work at the legal aid clinic at the school. And basically, there was a case I worked on, a divorce matter, and I had to interview the client to prepare his affidavit. So at this point, when I first met the client, his matter was already before the court. The divorce proceedings was already filed, right?
Right.
So he's coming to give his instructions for his affidavit. And of course, the very first thing I told him is that I know that I'm a woman and I know that I'm significantly younger, but please, please don't be afraid to tell me your instructions. Please don't be afraid to open up about your situation. I am here to listen. I'm a professional. Immediately, setting that tone, he started to talk about the relationship with his wife. There was really no violence. There was really no real issue apart from a breakdown in communication. After a few years of marriage, she started to feel unloved, right? So as you know, you get married and that honeymoon phase, that initial chemistry, it changes over time, is what you would realize in relationships, as any normal relationship would develop. Even as you get older, your priorities change as well. When you have children, your priorities change, and they had children. They had about 3 children during their marriage. So she started to feel a bit emotionally neglected, and that was the start of the breakdown of the communication. And he's sitting there giving instructions for his affidavit, and he started to cry. And I asked him, I said, I started to say, well, it seems to me that a counseling session could have resolved the issues, but at this point, with the proceedings already for the court, she already has an attorney, and it was too late. The parties were already set on completing their divorce. There was nothing that I could have done apart from tell him that I understand and that I'm sorry for the situation that he's in, because I could see that he actually really didn't want to be divorced. Like, he wanted a solution, but divorce was not the solution that he was seeking.
You see, you said something there that is very important. Huh? When you're courting and then you get married, that season, that beautiful season or that chapter of courting is beautiful. You focus on each other and you're in love, and when I look into your eyes, I see my world and everything is colorful and beautiful. Everything is focused on each other. When you get married and you have that honeymoon phase, it's even better. But when life hits, reality hits, babies start coming, work gets involved, this one, things happen, that is different, and not everybody is prepared for that change. So sometimes, sometimes you're correct. Sometimes it's important from the moment you realize, I don't feel as if I'm whole again. I don't feel as if I'm part of this relationship. I don't feel as if my husband loves me. I don't feel as if my wife loves me. She's focused on the children. Sometimes the children becomes the focus and the other party is jealous of that because they no longer get that attention, you see? And so you're correct. From the moment you realize something is going wrong, it's not right, you get that early intervention to get some level of counseling, because prevention is better than cure. You're correct. It doesn't have to reach that stage where a whole marriage or family is broken. You could try to fix it.
And then, of course, you can imagine the children were impacted because
they're
seeing their parents. Yes, they're seeing their parents, basically move apart from each other emotionally. And that impacts the children, especially when you have very loving children that look forward to that dynamic as well. Because at the end of the day, it's like their lives are changing too. Because they knew one truth. Yeah, they knew one truth, mom and daddy. And then all
No.
of a sudden, there's no mommy and daddy
No,
together anymore.
no mommy and daddy together, no longer having meals, no longer doing things together as a family. The comfort and safety of their home and their environment, they're now ripped away from it, a whole new thing. And of course, I will always say that children also need help when you have, you know, a separation or you have a divorce or whatever the case is. Because it's difficult. Think of an individual, how you feel when you have to be relocated. It's alien,
Yes,
and then worse yet, having the comfort of both parents. It's hard on
exactly.
them. You know,
And what I
so
want to say, there have been a lot of matters that I worked on, primarily like in divorce matters or even common law separation, where when parents turn against each other, so you know, 1 minute in the past they were in love, this person is my everything, and then they separate, and then this person is my worst enemy. This is the worst person. I regret being with that person, having children with that person, and then they tell the children negative things about the other.
ah, you hit it.
Right.
What was once beautiful is now ugly. And you see this thing they call social. So you now broken,
So
but this, your partner, the wife or husband, they live in their life and they have all these pictures, and you broken, and you feel this sense of not belonging. You're thinking, this person steal my life away.
Yes.
It's horrible. We've got to go to another break. Let's go to these important messages. When we return, we continue our conversation right here on Conversations with Zelisa on Real TV. Stay with us. I am Zelisa Budu Singh Rupani, inviting you to join me for the rebirth of Apne Sitare, Our Stars, a vibrant and spectacular show celebrating the incredible local talents of the sons and daughters of Trinidad and Tobago. Experience the beauty of our culture through singing, dancing, and musical performances as we keep the arts alive and shining bright. Tune in right here on Real TV every Sunday from 1 p.m. for Apne Sitare, Our Stars. See you there.
When security matters most, choose Catch Security Services Limited. We are proudly approved by the Ministry of Homeland Security. We protect your home, business, community, and much more. Our services include professional baton and armed officers, specialized K-9 units, mobile patrols, secure cash pickups, secure transport, and pepper spray applications and supply coming soon. Don't wait. Secure your assets now. Contact Catch Security today. Call 622-6601, email info@cssl-tt.com, or visit our office at 30-32 Saddle Road, Maraval.
In a world full of noise, choose clarity. The Real News digital publication is your choice for important news coverage. From influential figures shaping our nation to a powerful week in review that keeps you informed. The weekly edition is available for download on all of our social media platforms. Smart, sharp, essential. Real News digital publication. Stay informed, stay educated, stay empowered. Welcome back to Conversations with Zelisa right here on Real TV, where we bring reality to you. To all of our local, regional and international viewers, thank you so much for choosing us. For all those of you on Tego looking at it on the app, remember, my dear friends, I invite you to like and share. 3 million plus viewers, you made it possible. Thank you, because it's great information. Knowledge is power. So like and share so that, you know, people could be empowered. And when you are empowered, you make better decisions, better choices, and of course, we have a better tomorrow. And we have a better society because of young people like this wonderful attorney at law, Shamira Suklal. Attorney at law, she's also the director of the Humanitarian Foundation for Positive Social Change. Welcome back, Ms. Sukai.
Thank you, Ms. Zelisa.
Well,
Yes.
I always support and applaud initiatives, especially young, brilliant minds like yourselves. And then you've got a dynamic team that work together cohesively to help those that need help, all right? I know that we spoke about violence and divorce and problems and sibling rivalry and things like that. What other cases do you all handle for the free services, legal aid that you give to the citizens?
Well, those are the majority of cases that we handle, to be honest with you. But if anybody has in a legal situation, our legal aid clinic, we don't discriminate, like you could come to us, our attorneys, they are involved in not just family law, for example, they're involved in all fields of law. We have criminal law attorneys, we have civil law attorneys as well. So employment law attorneys as well, so those situations, we actually have two persons that came to us with employment issues in the past, and we were able to assist them and refer them accordingly as well.
There are many cases where you go to your friend in work, or you go to your brother or your sister or a parent or somebody and say, listen now, I need a little $5,000. Lend it to me now. And you can't get it back. You have a case where somebody would say, all right, you want an extension in your house, give me X amount of dollars, I'll get it done. And then they could never get it done. You can't even find the person. You have cases that you, out of goodwill, out of the kindness of your heart, and people exploit that and take advantage of it. How are people supposed to pay their rent and they don't pay their rent and it accumulates because of excuse over excuse? How do you help people with such situations?
Yes, of course. And even though it's not the majority of issues that comes to us, we have dealt with those exact issues you've spoken about there. So our legal aid clinic, we do all matters. It's just that the majority that would come to us would be more in the family, domestic situations. But we do deal with all of those cases, land and tenant law and petty civil court matters, like you were saying there.
Excellent.
Default summons, yes.
Now,
those petty civil.
Where exactly are you located, or do you go from area to area? How does it work?
Yes, we do. We meet people where they are, and because of our registered office is really Gasperlo area.
Okay.
That's where the organization is registered.
Right.
But we meet most of our clients through online platforms. So we would have Zoom meetings. We would meet clients where they are. We would go to them as well. So for example, I just want to share something here.
Please.
Since I'm speaking about that. I spoke about persons not getting help when making police reports. Ms. Zelisa, I have been to so many police stations across this country, attending with people, assisting them in making their reports, especially men. Now, I know that we are almost up on time with the program, and I just want to say this. I'm so sorry that this is at the very end. June is Men's Mental Health Month.
It is.
Now, when men are in certain situations and they don't get the police response, for example, men are more ridiculed than women when they go to police stations, But I am always on the go. I will go to the station with these persons and ensure that their reports are recorded, that they get their citizen report receipt, that statements are being taken, right? So that all of that just to say that we meet people where they are.
I like that you advocate for men as well, because very often when the first thing you think of when you hear especially domestic violence, you think it's a man punching the woman. But there are many cases where women take advantage of men as well, and they also have rights. So it's nice that you advocate and you help. I honestly see the need for you to come in and we can speak one-on-one. You know, we can even entertain some calls with some cases that people are going through where you could advise them. I would really appreciate if we could have that conversation live. I know that you're very consumed today, but I do appreciate that you took the time to spend with us to let us know about. If you could share your number one more time. Nathaniel, I'll ask my director to get it up there just before we leave quickly, so that anyone need to contact you for help, for advice. It's absolutely free legal advice, and so many people I think will welcome that. So can you please share your number? Nathaniel, please get that number up.
Yeah, so it's 1-868 Trinidad code 283-5594.
Okay, one more time.
1-868-283-5594.
Brilliant. So for any of you out there that you know that you need help, you know that you're in a situation where you're broken, you know you're in a situation where you feel stifled, and I'm talking about men and women, or whatever legal advice that you need in moving forward to get some level of resolve, some level of peace in your life, then you can call, get that one-on-one counseling. It's free legal advice. You'll be saving a lot of money, and then of course you'll be moving forward to get some level of peace and resolve in your life. So it's 283-5594. It's on the television screen. Your closing comments, please.
Well, what I want to say, well, again, going back to it being Men's Mental Health Month, I just want to share that my experience running the organization and our clinics, the social work department and the legal aid clinic, is that there are as much male victims as there are female victims. To me, it's almost equal, right? So like, yes, we would have a slightly higher figure of women coming forward, but we have made some major advancements in having men come forward and feel comfortable to come forward. And in honor of this particular month celebrating men and their challenges and uplifting them and shining light on their situations, I encourage men to come forward more, to seek help and to address their situation. And what I want to say is that when men face challenges, they tend to internalize it, and it affects their behavior, but it affects their way of life. So I've seen men turn to substance more quickly than their female counterparts, for example. And we really want to, this month we really want to focus on not exposing, but bringing light to the realities of our male counterparts in those situations as well.
Great.
So those would be my closing comments.
I want to thank you kindly for spending some quality time with us this morning on Conversations. It was a brilliant conversation to enlighten and to help people, how to get some sort of peace and happiness back into their lives. Remember, you've got the law. It's absolutely free. Legal advice. It's worth getting help. Prevention is always better than cure. I want to thank you. I trust next time we'll have you live in studio and we could have that one-on-one conversation again. God bless you. See you very soon. Thank you.
You take care.
This is where we're going to wrap things up for today. I want to thank you kindly for choosing us here on Real TV. To all of our viewers near and far, remember to like and share. It's great information. Keep smiling, be positive, and know the best is yet to come. Please be good, law-abiding citizens. Do what is right at all times. My dear friends, here's reminding you that with God and only God, all things are possible, all right? I am Zelisa Budu Singh Rupani. Thanks for choosing us. Have a great day. Great programming continues. See you soon.